The world of sports followed the trend of business, industry, and science during the 60s, a pattern of growth, inflation, remarkable accomplishments, and heartbreaking failures.
The year 1960 saw expansion rear its head and begin a vital role in athletics. The American Football League was born, and big-time baseball, basketball, and hockey also utilized the expansion pattern in the 60s. This was the year the National Football League elected Pete Rozelle as its commissioner. The Summer Olympic Games were held in Rome, and the Soviet Union was the unofficial winner. In 1961, a Texan by the name of Norm Cash, a first baseman for the Detroit Tigers, won the American League's batting title with an average of .361. And that same season, the M-Boys, Mantle and Maris of the New York Yankees were in style, and Roger Maris eventually rapped out 61 home runs to eclipse the previous mark of 60 held by the late Babe Ruth. The Detroit Lions finished second and participated in the first playoff bowl in Miami, beating Cleveland 17-16. The next year, 1962, Jack Adams was retired as the Detroit Red Wings general manager. 35 years of hockey service. And ex-Detroit player Sid Abel was named the new GM. Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus dominated the golfing picture during this decade, with Palmer winning the Masters in 60, 62, and 64, while Nicklaus took the event in 63, 65, and again in 1966. The city of Detroit made two bids to gain the Olympic Games during the 60s. Both attempts in 1963, again in 1966, ended in failure. Doug Roby, a member of the U.S. Olympic Committee, voiced his opinion for defeat in 1963.
The only, in trying to analyze this quite hurriedly, I can only have the feeling that no matter what the United States did, the rest of the world, they aren't ready to bring the games to our country.
Alex Karras of the Detroit Lions and Paul Hornung of the Green Bay Packers were suspended for betting on football games. They missed the 63 season, and 5 other Lion players were fined for betting. William Clay Ford was okayed to buy the Detroit Lions. The deal was completed in January of 64. The price, $6 million. And Ford was asked about his coach and front office.
I have some ideas in mind, but I don't feel that this is the time to talk about them. The closing date, as you know, is January 10th of next year, and after that date, then I probably will have some statements to make.
February of 1964 saw a 22-year-old belter from Louisville, Kentucky, Cassius Clay, win the heavyweight boxing title from Sonny Liston. And Clay even had words for the fight.
Who would have thought when they came to the fight that they'd witness the launching of a human satellite? Yes, the crowd did not dream when they laid down their money that they would see a total eclipse of the sunny.
The Tigers finished 5th in 1965, and manager Charlie Dressen suffered his first heart attack during spring training, but resumed the managerial duties at the end of May. Michigan State went undefeated in football and was the #1 team in the nation. Former General William D. Eckert was elected baseball commissioner. The Wolverines of Michigan remained a power on the basketball court, winning the Big Ten title, and coach Dave Strack was selected as College Basketball Coach of the Year. On the first day of 1966, Michigan State lost to UCLA 14-12 in the Rose Bowl. During the 66 season, the Spartans went unbeaten. Another Gold Cup hydroplane championship took place on the Detroit River, but death was lurking in the choppy waters as popular Chuck Thompson was killed. The highlight of the decade of the 60s was the Detroit Tigers winning the American League pennant after 23 years, and then going on to beat the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series. It took 7 games and a tremendous comeback by the Tigers. And that final putout came when Mickey Lolich got Redbird Tim McCarver to hit a pop-up into foul territory between home and first. Bill Freehan moved over, made the catch, and the Tigers had won the crown of world champions of baseball. The pitching victory went to Mickey Lolich, his 3rd of the series. It was a wild celebration on the field and in the clubhouse, but a bigger and wilder celebration was starting in Detroit. And here's how the fans saw that final out and their reactions.
McCarver
In December of '68, Bo Schembechler was named head football coach at Michigan, replacing Bump Elliott.
He's a head coach at the present time at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. And this time I'd like you to meet Bo Schembechler. Bo?
Thank you, Don. I am naturally tremendously excited about the opportunity of being the head football coach at the University of Michigan. I've always had a tremendous respect for the school and its athletic program, its athletic teams. I guess my ambition in coaching has always been eventually to be a head coach in the Big Ten, and I honestly can't think of a better school than the University of Michigan.
Schembechler's football Wolverines were co-champions of the Big Ten after a big win over Ohio State. U of M represented the conference in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. The opposition was the University of Southern California. A twist of fate, however, tarnished the appearance as Bo was struck with a mild heart attack just hours before the Holiday Classic. Southern California proved to be a rugged opponent. They scored first on a field goal by Ron Ayala for a 3-0 lead in the opening period. However, Michigan struck back in the second quarter with a 3-point kick by Tim Killian, and the first half ended Michigan 3, Southern California 3. In a truly defensive battle, Southern Cal scored the only touchdown of the game. In the third quarter, it came on a pass from quarterback Jim Jones to back Bob Chandler. And that completed the Rose Bowl scoring, and Michigan lost to USC 10-3. Coach Bo Schembechler and his team were a dedicated combination and reminiscent of the champions Detroit and Michigan has known in the past. The next decade may witness a rebirth for this city of champions.